Hi everyone, Denise Scattergood here. Welcome to Positive Forward Motion, where each week I cover topics with how-to steps to inspire, motivate, and empower you so you will have more success both personally and professionally. Today's topic is first do no harm. Some of you may be familiar with this term, first do no harm, from a medical standpoint, where the meaning of this is an important step in becoming a doctor because when the medical students take that Hippocratic oath, one of the promises within the oath is first do no harm. Well, I'm not a doctor and I'm not here today to discuss medical best practices with you. I'm here to share with you all the value of first do no harm. And I first learned about do no harm from my grandfather. He was a Ukrainian immigrant that came to this country when he was 18. And he had many life experiences, and I am thankful that he shared his wisdom with me. My grandfather was born before the 1900s. He lived for over 99 years. And when he passed peacefully in his sleep with no debt, no major illnesses or surgeries to speak of. And during his life, he sure did witness a lot. He saw the first driving cars. He survived the Great Depression. He saw the first man walk on the moon. He didn't quite get how microwaves or faxes worked, but he sure did experience a lot of changes in his life. And one philosophy he held very close and taught me was to stop, take pause, and do no harm first. And I'm grateful for what he taught me, and this has helped me to see and do things differently. And if I had to guess why he had a knack for do no harm, I'd say it was because he was a grateful man. He grew up with nothing, took a chance on a boat to come to America. He saw all the opportunities before him, and he just didn't take things for granted. And first I want to share with you before we move forward is, as you all know, it's very hard to undo things after they're done, right? And many times we act and react so fast without taking pause or notice to how our choices can impact our life before it's too late. And we often create more work and stress in both areas of our lives, both personally and professionally. And as you know, it is my goal to help you have more success and happiness in all areas of your life. So today I'm going to give you 8 do no harm philosophies with examples of how they were taught to me. I find these to be very simple yet very impactful. So here's number 1. Every chance you get, reuse and recycle. Every Saturday morning, my grandfather would take my brother and I fishing, and the sandwiches he made for us were always wrapped in the empty bread bags that he saved. He thought it was so silly to throw away a perfectly good bag that the bread came in just to go out and buy a box of new ones. He would say, "This is how we save money and protect our earth." So I challenge you, think of ways that you can save money and protect our earth. Number 2, take a walk. If he had to go somewhere and it was less than a 2-mile round trip, he walked. He'd say, what was the sense of starting up the car when you can save gas, get in some good exercise, and clear your thoughts at the same time? So I challenge you, why don't you set a standard for you and your family? Maybe start with just 1 mile. Number 3, if man makes it, don't eat it. He was amazed at all the food that could be bought at a grocery store, and even more shocked at how man transformed perfectly good food into junk food. Way before all the health gurus were preaching this, it was just common sense to my grandfather to eat food as nature intended. So I challenge you, pay attention to what you choose to put in your body. Number 4, use food for medicine. If we complained of a headache, he would first make us drink 3 full glasses of water because he'd say you're probably dehydrated. When we were tired or not feeling well, he always turned to food. For tiredness, he'd say, oh, you need to eat some beets because they're good for your blood. For cold, he'd say we needed more onions and garlic in our diet. So before you reach for chemicals to cure what ails you, stop and think if there could be a do no harm option first. Number 5, less is more. My grandfather taught us to stop before we bought that new whatever it was that we thought we must have. as well as to hold our tongue before we used unnecessary words that we could not take back. He taught us to walk away from things and circumstances. Give it time to see how you feel in a couple days, he'd say, because it'll still be there. He would remind us to stop and think if what we were about to do or say would have a positive impact. And if not, he'd say, then hold your tongue or hold back. And the reminder was that here is that it's real easy to react, but it's much harder to take things back. So I challenge you, pause and stop before you react. Number 6, trust your gut. For example, after a long day of fishing, we were at the lake and my grandfather was filleting and cleaning the fish to take home. And after the second fish, he stopped and said, we are not going to bring these home. We're going to leave them here and we are not coming back to fish at this lake anymore. Well, I got to tell you, we all thought he was crazy. And we pleaded and begged him to please let us take the fish home because we had the biggest catch of the season. And we were so excited, but he said, nope. Something is just not right. And you know what? A year later, the EPA shut down that lake for contamination. So the lesson here is to think of a time where maybe your gut may have been nagging you in one direction and you ignored it. Think about how you would have done better if you would have stopped and listened to your gut and intuition. Number 7, look up and not down. He'd say nature gave us sunshine for positive energy and help us to help things grow. And he reminded us to keep our chin up and to keep a sunny disposition and believe that things will always turn out for the best. So I challenge you to find the good in things and to have a belief that things will turn out for the best and not give up. Number 8, you will always reap what you sow. My grandfather would say, plant your garden carefully. And yes, he had an amazing garden. He produced tomatoes, cucumbers, string beans, onions, beets, lettuce, and so much more. And each year he would let my brother and I choose our own veggies to plant, nurture, and grow. And he wasn't so much teaching us about growing vegetables as he was teaching us the value of hard work, patience, and positive focus, reminding us that we will reap what we sow in the garden of life. He would say, remember to pay attention to how you are tending to the things that are important to you. Your school, your family, your career, your health, and your friends. So today I challenge you to pause, be grateful, and take a common sense approach to be kind to yourself and others. Take notice to your thoughts and actions and choose to do no harm first. Thank you for listening. I hope you found today's message valuable. And if you would like to have today's steps handy, just shoot me an email to info@positiveforwardmotion.com. Again, that's info@positiveforwardmotion.com. As always, I'm wishing you continued success both personally and professionally. And remember to keep up the positive forward motion.